Hey guys, it's Chris Jackson here, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you one of the biggest problems that business owners like coaches and consultants face is they're wanting to charge more for their services, they're wanting to convert more clients and get more clients, they're wanting to reduce the amount of time wasted having unnecessary sales conversations, and fundamentally they just want to earn more money. So really what I'm here to share with you today is how do we get more clients? So really the challenge that we're talking about here today is how do you get more clients? Now, the thing about this problem is that this problem is actually the symptom. It's not the root cause problem. Getting more clients is the result that people are looking for. Now, the thing is that a result is an effect. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to go upstream. We need to understand that there is some variable or set of variables that are going to create more clients. So we need to look at, well, what is that? Now, the model that I'm going to share with you today is the fastest way to get more clients is to understand two things. Number one, value, and number two, trust. These are the two most powerful variables that are going to create more clients in any situation, so that independent of the amount of experience, independent of your skill set, when you focus on developing these two areas, you're able to enroll far more clients in a lot quicker time, and you're able to improve the amount of money that you're charging. You can increase your conversion rate and fundamentally save time. Instead of wasting time on unnecessary conversations, you get to the point a lot quicker. So let me show you how we do this. Now, in last week's video, I touched on trust. So if you haven't already seen that video, I definitely recommend going back and watching my video on trust. Today, what I'm going to focus on is I'm going to focus on value. So I'm going to show you how do you show value to your client, because ultimately, if your client doesn't value your services, they won't buy. So let's take a look at what do we mean by value. Well, value is really simple. Value, fundamentally, is what a client sees as valuable. Valuable. The only thing that matters is what a client sees valuable. Don't fall into the trap of thinking just because you value something, your client is going to value it. That's one of the biggest selling mistakes I see coaches and consultants make all the time, is they're selling based upon what they see as valuable, not what their client sees as valuable. So this is what the client sees as valuable. Now that's a really important distinction. It has nothing to do with what you value, it's only everything to do with what they value. So it's about their values. And if you don't know what their values are, you won't know what they value, which means you won't be able to charge what you're worth, and you'll have low conversions, and you'll take a long time to sell your product or service. So there are 4 dimensions to value. So I'm going to draw a table for you that's going to show you what are the 4 dimensions of value. Well, number 1, the first dimension is motivation. This is all about, why does someone want to solve the problem? Now, what is a problem? A problem is where someone is stuck, it's a frowny face, and they want to move all the way through to being happy face. So they want to move from pain to pleasure, and ideally they want to move as quickly as they possibly can, depending on the pain. Now, this is going to now move to the second dimension of value. This is all about urgency. How quickly does someone want to solve the problem? So this is all about speed. This is all about the dimension of time. How important is time and how important is speed? If something is really, really urgent, someone is going to want to solve that problem really, they're going to value that problem highly. So this is the distinction here that's really, really important. If something is urgent, people are going to want to make a buying decision now. Whereas if people can put something off, they're going to put it off as long as they possibly can. So this is the next dimension of urgency. The third element here of value is what I call involvement. Now, involvement is how much is the coach or the consultant providing versus how much is the client providing in terms of effort, time, energy, resources. So really what we're asking here, is it a done for you or is it a DIY? How much are you doing versus how much is the client doing? Now, a lot of this also comes down to what is the expertise involved, and if the expertise is high, it's typically going to be more done for you. If the expertise is quite low, then a lot of times the people are going to want to do it more themselves, depending on their arrangement or their time and their values. So you need to understand the level of involvement is going to determine how much someone values your service. If someone has to do a lot of the work, a lot of the heavy lifting themselves, think of it like a digital marketing agency. If someone is going to design your website, they're going to design your brand, and they're going to do all of that work for you, they're going to write your copy, someone's literally going to do everything for you, that's completely done for you. You're going to pay a premium on that compared to if you do it all yourself. It's going to take you more time, but you're paying a premium to have someone else do it for you. So that is an important element to understand, which is involvement. Now, the fourth element here is all about reliability. Reliability is all about quality, and it's all about what are the consequences is if you get it wrong or if it's ineffective. So what if this solution is either wrong or ineffective? What is the consequence of this thing not being reliable, and what's the risk of this thing going wrong? Another way of saying this, what is the cost of failure? So, an example of this would be you might decide to build a really cheap home, but an earthquake comes along and knocks your home down, and what's going to happen is in the middle of the night you're sleeping in your house and your home falls down, well, potentially you're going to die. So the cost of a home failing, catastrophic failure, is extreme. So that would be an example of someone wanting to probably put some more money and more investment and more time and energy into the quality to make it more reliable, because the cost of failure is not workable. So these are the four dimensions that are really, really important. So just do a brief recap here. So we've got here, number one, motivation. This is all about why does someone want to do something in the first place? What's the pain and pleasure that they're experiencing? So what's their why? The next dimension here is urgency. How quickly does someone want to do something about it? Can they wait another day, another year, another week, or does this need to get solved right now? The next aspect here is involvement. This is all about, is it done for you? Is it done with them? Is it completely done for them, or does the client need to do some of it themselves? And what's the level of expertise that you're providing? And then the last aspect here is reliability. How critical is this? What is the quality required? And what is the cost of the risk of this thing not working to them and their situation? So these are the four dimensions of value that we need to be aware of when we're having an enrollment or a sales conversation with a client, because if we don't go into each of these four dimensions, we're not going to be maximizing the value. So let's take a look at the value equation. So value is going to be a combination of each one of these four things. It's going to be a combination of motivation, the urgency, the involvement, and the reliability. Now that's the value equation. So now, what does this mean? Well, what this means is we need to now look at what is the price that we are charging, and if that price is less than or equal to the value that a client sees, remember it's the value that client sees, not the value that you see. If the price is less than the value, then the client's going to look at that, and this is going to be a no-brainer, because they're going to see, wow, price is great, price is actually less than the value, so the value is more than the price. This becomes a no-brainer decision. This is equal to, yes, I want to buy your product or service. Now, what's the opposite of that? Well, if you have your price such that it's greater than the value, i.e. the price is higher than the perceived value, then you are going to have a negative selling result. You are going to most likely get a no, or Classic example of what happens in the industry is let me think about it. Now, this is a really, really important concept to understand because when you get this, this equals more clients. This equals less or no clients. And this is one of the most common mistakes that I see people doing is because they're not getting any clients, what do? They take their price and they drop it. They drop it so that the price is now less than the value. But when you drop your price, what do? Well, you're getting paid less than what you're worth. You're commoditizing yourself and you're ultimately competing on price, which means you devalue yourself. So you don't want to do that. You do not want to lower your price. What you want to do instead is increase the value. You want to increase the value. That's the way that you want to do it. And the way you increase the value is you take your client conversationally through an enrollment process that goes deep into each of these 4 dimensions so that they see more of the value. And one of the core elements here that's really important is to understand their values. When you understand their values, you're able to know what is valuable to them. So, to do a bit of a recap, here what we had was we said we want to get more clients. We know that that's the symptom, that's not the root cause. The root cause is we need more value and more trust. Now, if you want to go back and look at the trust section, I recorded a trust video last week, so go back and watch that. And then when you understand these 4 dimensions of value, you're able to take a client more into the value of what they really truly want, which means you don't have to drop your pricing. Instead, you can increase your pricing, which means you get more clients, you have more money, you have higher conversion percentages, and you also reduce the amount of time that it takes to sell. So these are the benefits. You get more time, you have increased sales conversions, and you have more money. So there you go. That is the benefit of understanding how to get more clients through adding more value and more trust. So I trust that resonates with you. I'd love to know your feedback. Was this video helpful? And I wish you a fantastic weekend. Much love. This is Chris signing out.